Patricia, who led our homeowners association, couldn't stand seeing my expectant wife relaxing on our front porch. On a particular afternoon, she came over in a rage, yelling about rule violations. Patricia was unaware that my surveillance system was capturing everything in real time. From my workspace, I witnessed with terror as she seized Emma's arm and attempted to force her from the seat. My wife cried out in agony, protecting her pregnant stomach. Both my unborn child's safety and Patricia's actions were at risk, and she had no clue I was monitoring the entire situation. Before viewing the complete account, please share your location in the comments. Remember to subscribe for additional compelling narratives. The oppressive summer heat settled over Maple Grove, creating an unbearable atmosphere. In my second-floor home workspace, I attempted to concentrate on my computer display, reviewing the quarterly financial documents before me. However, maintaining focus proved impossible. My thoughts continuously wandered to Emma, my beloved wife, downstairs on our entrance porch, 7 months into her pregnancy with our first baby. Emma's situation extended beyond simple pregnancy. She was struggling through each passing day and hour. 3 weeks prior, Dr. Chen had shared devastating information that shattered our reality. She diagnosed severe preeclampsia, a dangerous condition causing the mother's blood pressure to reach critical heights, endangering both her existence and the infant's. Dr. Chen had mandated complete rest in bed, speaking with serious and firm authority. Emma required absolute freedom from stress, no physical activity, no emotional turmoil, nothing whatsoever. A single blood pressure increase could cause seizures, organ shutdown, or necessitate immediate delivery. At 7 months gestation, your child's chances of making it would face serious challenges. Mr. Morrison, do you comprehend my message? Any stress might prove fatal to both of them. These statements plagued my every conscious minute. They echoed through my sleeping hours. They transformed every inhalation into a plea. Consequently, Emma remained confined to our residence, and the imprisonment within our walls was gradually destroying her morale. She was someone who cherished gardens and extended strolls, who flourished with sunshine and open air. Forcing her to remain indoors seemed brutal and merciless. Therefore, I made a compromise. I transformed our front porch into a refuge, a cozy reclining seat with additional cushions supporting her spine and enlarged ankles, a compact table nearby holding water, nutritious food, and novels she struggled to read, plus an umbrella providing shade from the intense afternoon sunlight. Additionally, I installed a surveillance device, one of those intelligent security cameras featuring excellent video quality, bidirectional sound, and movement recognition that transmitted notifications directly to my mobile device. I could monitor her whenever needed, communicate with her, and confirm her safety during my upstairs work hours. That camera would preserve everything of importance. It was Thursday afternoon, the type of day when heat created shimmering effects on the road surface and made breathing feel labored. I was examining a particularly boring spreadsheet when my mobile device vibrated. The camera's movement detector had activated. I checked the alert, anticipating a package carrier or perhaps our neighbor's feline. Instead, my blood froze solid. A woman positioned herself on our porch, and even via the compact phone display, I could observe the fury emanating from her intensely. Patricia Holbrook, the HOA leader, had been the source of our suffering for the previous 8 months. Patricia appeared in her late 50s, sporting steel-colored hair, styled in a harsh bob cut, narrow lips seemingly fixed in perpetual displeasure, and eyes capable of freezing molten rock. She wielded her authority like royalty, using the HOA regulations as ammunition against anyone who dared deviate from expectations. From our moving day, she had caused us constant misery. Our lawn exceeded acceptable height by a 1/4 inch, violation notice. Our mailbox color was black rather than the sanctioned charcoal gray, violation notice. We had planted roses in our front garden without filing the appropriate landscaping alteration paperwork. Violation notice. Emma had kept our doormat visible past 8 p.m. one night. Violation notice. Each week delivered a fresh infraction, a new penalty, a new conflict. I had adapted to disregarding her, settling the absurd penalties, and proceeding forward. However, this situation was unlike previous encounters. This wasn't concerning lawn maintenance or mailbox specifications. I increased my phone's audio output, and Patricia's words invaded my workspace like toxic fumes. I'm indifferent to your physician's recommendations. You're breaking HOA Regulation 7.3 subsection B. No lingering on entrance porches during 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. hours. It generates an unattractive visual and diminishes property worth. You must go inside right away. Emma's response came through the audio device, fragile and shaking, and detecting that terror in her voice awakened something primitive and aggressive within me. Mrs. Holbrook, I implore you, I'm not lingering. I'm simply seated. I'm 7 months pregnant. I have serious preeclampsia. My physician recommends bed rest, but she also specified I require outdoor air and sunlight for the infant's wellness. I cannot remain trapped inside constantly. I'll lose my sanity. Please, I'm causing no harm to anyone. The regulations apply to everyone, Patricia screamed, her complexion becoming a concerning purple shade. I'm unconcerned if you're expecting quintuplets. Regulations remain regulations. Property worth remains property worth. You're causing this community to resemble a deteriorated area with your persistent porch occupation. I've received 3 grievances from fellow residents regarding your loitering. That statement was false. I recognized it as false. Our neighbors adored Emma. They had been delivering food and visiting her regularly. The sole person with an objection was Patricia herself. Mrs. Holbrook, I'm pleading with you, Emma expressed, and I could detect tears in her speech. Please don't force me indoors. The physician stated, outdoor air is essential. I promise I'm not breaking any regulations. I'm just sitting. I'm not disturbing anyone. You're disturbing me, and as HOA leader, that's what matters exclusively. Now stand up and go inside before I have you forcefully ejected and your residence fined $1,000. I was already in motion. I shut my laptop forcefully and rushed from my workspace, descending the stairs in groups of 3. My heart pounded against my ribcage as if attempting escape. The mobile device remained in my grip, the camera transmission still active, and what I observed next completely stopped my heartbeat. Ma'am, please don't touch me, Emma's voice escalated in fear. Patricia extended forward, her expression distorted with self-satisfied rage, and grabbed Emma's arm. Time appeared to decelerate. Through that tiny display, I watched Patricia's fingers grip my wife's upper arm forcefully. I watched Emma attempt to withdraw, her opposite hand instinctively moving to protect her swollen abdomen. I watched Patricia pull, attempting to haul my pregnant wife from her seat. Release me, Emma shrieked, genuine fear now in her voice. You'll relocate when I determine you'll relocate, Patricia screamed in response, pulling more forcefully. I was racing through the residence now, bursting through the living area, my vision tinged crimson. I could hear Emma weeping, could hear Patricia's voice climbing to a frenzied intensity, and every moment felt like eternity. I exploded through the entrance door forcefully. Remove your cursed hands from my wife. Patricia rotated, her complexion still purple with fury, her hand still gripping Emma's arm. Emma's eyes located mine, and they contained tears and terror and something additional. Pain, genuine physical suffering. Mr. Morrison, your wife is in obvious violation of... I stated, remove yourself. I crossed the space in 3 enormous steps and physically positioned myself between them, breaking Patricia's hold on Emma's arm. My hands were trembling. Every muscle in my physique was wound like a coil. Don't you ever contact her again. Don't you ever approach her again. Emma was breathing heavily behind me, her respiration quick and shallow. David, something's incorrect. My heart ceased, simply ceased functioning. I turned toward her and the blood evacuated from my complexion. Emma appeared pale. Her lips displayed a bluish shade, and both her hands pressed against her abdomen. Tears flowed down her cheeks. "What?" "Darling, what's incorrect?" I knelt adjacent to her seat, taking her frigid hands in mine. "It's painful, the infant. Oh, deity, David, it's extremely painful. Something's incorrect with Lily." Her voice escalated to a frightened sob, and I observed with horror as her entire body began trembling. "We're heading to the medical facility immediately. Hold on, darling." I began lifting her, supporting her as delicately as possible, despite my shaking hands. "She's pretending." Patricia's words sliced through the moment sharply. "She's simply being theatrical to avoid the violation." I recognize her category: manipulative, indolent, constantly seeking special consideration because she's pregnant. Well, pregnancy doesn't excuse anyone from HOA regulations. I turned toward her. I'm uncertain what Patricia observed in my expression at that instant, but she actually stumbled rearward, her eyes widening. "If anything occurs to my wife or my child because of your actions, I will devastate you," I stated, my voice quiet and lethally composed. "I will ensure everyone knows precisely what you did." My camera captured every single moment, every statement you made, every instance you contacted her. The footage is already stored to the cloud. "You're finished, Patricia. Finished." For the initial time since my acquaintance with her, Patricia Holbrook appeared uncertain, even frightened. I didn't wait for her reaction. I transported Emma to our vehicle, positioned her as carefully as possible in the front seat, and operated to the medical facility recklessly. I disregarded traffic signals. I operated on the roadside when traffic moved too slowly. I maintained one hand on Emma's limb while she wept and supported her abdomen, desperately whispering to our child, "Hold on, Lily. Please hold on. Mother loves you. Father loves you. Please be okay." The emergency area was chaotic. The instant I transported Emma through the entrances, medical staff surrounded us. Someone obtained a wheelchair. Someone else was calling for Dr. Chen. They rushed Emma away, and I was left positioned in the waiting space, my clothing saturated with perspiration, my hands still shaking, experiencing more powerless than I'd ever experienced in my complete existence. Dr. Chen materialized 15 minutes afterward. Those 15 minutes felt like 15 years. Her expression was serious, and when she regarded me, I observed something in her eyes that weakened my knees. "Mr. Morrison, I require you to attend very attentively. Emma's blood pressure measures 180/120. That's stroke range. The physical confrontation and the stress from the assault have initiated a serious hypertensive emergency. Her body is failing. We're doing everything possible to stabilize her, but I must be frank with you. If we cannot reduce her blood pressure within the following 2 hours, we'll have no alternative but to execute an emergency cesarean section. However, the infant, Lily, she's only 7 months." "I'm aware." Dr. Chen's voice was compassionate but resolute. "At 30 weeks, her survival chances are favorable, but she'll require extensive neonatal intensive care. There could be difficulties, respiratory issues, developmental setbacks, infections. However, if we don't deliver her and Emma's blood pressure continues climbing, we could lose both of them. Do you comprehend my message?" The corridor tilted. I seized the wall to prevent falling. "Do whatever is necessary, whatever is required. Just rescue them, please. I'm begging you, rescue my wife, rescue my child." Dr. Chen pressed my shoulder. "We're going to battle intensely. Emma's resilient. So is Lily. However, I require you to prepare yourself for the possibility that this might not conclude the way we hoped." Those statements nearly devastated me. They permitted me to remain with Emma after they had stabilized her sufficiently to transfer her to a private area. She appeared so diminutive in that medical bed, engulfed by white linens and connected to what appeared like a dozen separate machines. Monitors beeped and fluid dripped transparent liquid into her arm. A blood pressure device inflated and deflated mechanically every 15 minutes. Emma's eyes were shut, her complexion drawn and gray. I took her hand, it was frigid, so frigid, and pressed my forehead against it. "I'm extremely sorry," I whispered. "I should have been quicker. I should have prevented her before she contacted you. This is my responsibility." Emma's eyes fluttered open. "Not your responsibility." Her voice was scarcely audible. "You rescued me. You arrived. You must battle, Emma. You and Lily both must battle. I cannot lose you. I cannot. You're my complete universe. Both of you. Please." A tear descended her cheek. "Frightened. So frightened, David. I'm aware, darling. I'm aware, but you're the most resilient person I've ever encountered. You're going to survive this. We all are." However, as I remained there holding her hand, listening to the machines monitor her deteriorating body, I wasn't certain I believed my own statements. The hours progressed with excruciating sluggishness. Every time a machine beeped, my heart ceased. Every time a medical professional entered, I prepared myself for the most terrible information conceivable. Emma drifted between consciousness and unconsciousness, occasionally mumbling, occasionally weeping, consistently with one hand on her abdomen, attempting to comfort our child through her own suffering. At hour 3, Dr. Chen entered to examine Emma's vital signs. Her expression was neutral, but I had learned to interpret the subtle indicators, the tension around her eyes, the manner she compressed her lips together. "How is she?" I inquired, my voice barely functioning. "Her blood pressure is beginning to descend gradually, very gradually. We're at 165/110 presently. Still dangerous, but advancing in the proper direction. Is Lily okay?" Dr. Chen moved to the fetal monitoring device and examined the display. Lily's cardiac rate is heightened but consistent. She's stressed. Her mother's stress chemicals are overwhelming her system, but she's persisting. She's a combatant. "Like her mother," I whispered. "Like both her guardians," Dr. Chen corrected. "Mr. Morrison, I must inquire something. What precisely occurred before you transported Emma here?" I retrieved my mobile device with trembling hands and displayed her the footage. Dr. Chen observed in silence, her expression growing increasingly dark with each passing moment. When it concluded, she regarded me with something resembling fury in her eyes. "This woman attacked your wife, a pregnant woman on bed rest for a life-endangering condition. She could have terminated them both. I'm aware. You must report this to law enforcement. This isn't merely an HOA disagreement anymore. This is assault, possibly attempted manslaughter. If the district attorney desires to pursue it, I will as soon as I confirm Emma and Lily are secure." Dr. Chen nodded. "Preserve that footage safe. And Mr. Morrison, for what it's valuable, you executed everything correctly. You transported her here promptly. That might be what rescues them." At hour 6, a miracle transpired. Emma's blood pressure descended to 150/100. Still elevated, but out of the immediate danger territory. At hour 8, it reached 140/95. At hour 10, Dr. Chen entered with something that almost resembled a smile. "We're at 135/90. She's stabilizing. We're not out of danger yet, but this is a very favorable indication." I could have collapsed with relief. Instead, I buried my face in Emma's shoulder and wept for the initial time since this nightmare commenced. Emma's hand came up weakly to caress my hair. "We're okay," she whispered. "We're going to be okay." They retained Emma in the medical facility for 12 days. 12 days of constant monitoring, medication modifications, and limited visitors. 12 days of me sleeping in an uncomfortable seat beside her bed, refusing to depart except to bathe and change clothing. 12 days of observing Emma's abdomen expand and sensing Lily kick and hoping, praying that we'd get to encounter her under improved circumstances. During those 12 days, I took initiative. Initially, I visited the law enforcement station and submitted a formal complaint. The officer who documented my statement observed the footage 3 times, his expression growing more repulsed each time. "This is one of the most transparent cases of assault I've ever observed," he stated. "With this video evidence and your wife's medical documentation documenting the harm caused, the district attorney will definitely pursue charges. I'd be astonished if this doesn't conclude in a conviction." "Excellent," I stated coldly. "I desire her prosecuted to the maximum extent of the law." Subsequently, I contacted an attorney, not simply any attorney, Marcus Chen, the finest personal injury attorney in the state. I had attended college with his sibling. When I explained the situation and displayed him the footage, his eyes illuminated. "David, this is a definitive case. Assault, emotional distress, endangered welfare of a child, medical costs. We're discussing substantial damages here, both criminal and civil. This woman is going down severely. I'm indifferent about the money, Marcus. I care about justice. You'll obtain both," he promised. Then I directed my attention to the public opinion arena. Late one night, while Emma slept peacefully for the initial time in days, I remained in her medical room with my laptop and composed a detailed post. I attached the footage, all 5 minutes and 32 seconds of it, and wrote a simple, factual account of what had transpired. I posted it to our community Facebook group initially, then to the city's main community page, then to every local community forum I could locate. The heading was simple: "Our HOA leader attacked my pregnant wife. This is what transpired." I observed the post go live, and then I closed my laptop. I didn't desire to observe the reactions yet. I simply desired to remain with Emma and feel grateful that she was still breathing, that Lily was still moving inside her, that we were all still here. By morning, the post had exploded. My mobile device was overwhelmed with notifications. The Facebook post had been distributed over 500 times. The comment section was filled with outrage, support, and demands for Patricia's resignation. People were tagging local news stations. Someone had initiated a change.org petition to remove Patricia from the HOA board. It already had over 1,000 signatures. The local news acquired the story by noon. By evening, it had gone regional. By the subsequent morning, it was national. "Pregnant woman attacked by HOA leader over porch sitting," read the headlines. The footage played repeatedly on news channels, accompanied by interviews with medical experts, explaining how dangerous Emma's condition was, how Patricia's actions could have terminated both her and the infant. My mobile device rang constantly. Reporters desired interviews. Neighbors desired to express their support. The HOA board members, everyone except Patricia, called to apologize and assure me that action was being taken. One call distinguished itself. It was from Janet Reeves, the HOA vice leader. "Mr. Morrison, I am calling on behalf of the entire board to offer our deepest, most sincere apologies for what occurred to your wife. We've held an emergency meeting. Patricia Holbrook has been removed as leader, effective immediately. We're also voting to dissolve several of the more absurd regulations she implemented, including anything related to front porch usage. Additionally, we're discussing legal action against Patricia personally for bringing such negative attention and potential liability to the HOA. What she did was inexcusable, and we are all horrified. Thank you," I stated, my voice firm. "However, I desire more than her removal. I desire her incarcerated." "Many of us do too," Janet stated quietly. "You have our complete support." The hostile mail commenced around day 8. Anonymous messages informing me I was devastating an innocent woman's existence over nothing. Phone calls from people calling me vindictive, cruel, a bully who was using my wife's pregnancy as a weapon. One letter, actually handwritten and mailed, called me a monster and stated I should be ashamed of myself for destroying Patricia's reputation. I read each one with cold detachment and then deleted or discarded them. I was indifferent about Patricia's reputation. I was indifferent about her existence, or her feelings, or her future. She had nearly terminated my wife and child over the location of a seat. She deserved everything approaching her, and more. Emma observed one of the messages before I could delete it. Her face crumpled. "Maybe we should cease," she whispered. "Maybe this has progressed too far." "No," I took her hands in mine. "Emma, listen to me. If we permit her to walk away from this, she'll execute it to someone else. Maybe their wife won't make it to the medical facility promptly. Maybe their infant won't survive. I cannot exist with that. Can you?" Emma was quiet for an extended time, her hand resting on her abdomen where Lily was executing what felt like gymnastics. Finally, she shook her head. "No, you're correct. We battle." On day 12, Dr. Chen cleared Emma to return home with strict conditions. "Complete bed rest still applies," she stated firmly. "No visitors except immediate family. No stress of any kind. Your blood pressure is stable presently, but it could spike again at any instant. Your